Maybe. Okay, hold on. Pause. 8 minutes. Okay, I gotta remember that.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Oh, oh. Swans is like DoorDash, but only when you want it once a week. Everybody enjoying the game screen. Blue Fire is pretty fun. I do quite enjoy that. It's a very different game, as much as it tries to mimic some other things, but the mechanics, at least, I feel pretty good. And it's not super complicated. Balan, on the other hand, Balan's a controlling nightmare. Like, why not just give us 2 screens so we can work independently? It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. And then I guess she's also been playing some Fire Emblem Warriors recently. Good times. It's much easier when there's something on the screen to talk about. Yeah. Oh, she comes. Shh.
You don't want to get cut all right?
Oh.
From 8 minutes until whenever we start again.
I mean, you've said that on other episodes, and we all know how that went.
Shush. This is the second episode, I don't remember.
I mean, yeah, you've done it before, but I'm just sparking some loose conversation with the audience. Nothing too weird.
Okay.
It's a good thing you knocked. It doesn't just come and walk away.
He didn't ring the doorbell, though?
Oh.
Because he came up the porch. But who was I to tell him not to use the porch door?
Yeah, that just makes the most sense. Why would you go through somebody's garage?
Yeah. But we don't have a doorbell on our porch door.
Nope. No, we don't. Oh, sweet. Oh no, the darkness has come and fallen upon us. Behold. I hope you all have taken this time to maybe get up, get a snack, get your favorite blanket, cozy up, and prepare for the other half of this episode if this doesn't get cut out, but it probably will. If not, then y'all can just enjoy the sweet, dulcet tones of maybe the dishwasher, if you can hear that in the background. It's been going this whole time, but try not to bring attention to it, because people don't care about that. Still got about a couple of like 2 minutes or so just sit back and relax. I'm not gonna do ASMR though, because I think that stuff's weird. It calms some people, but it does not suit my fancy. How would you like it if someone crawled up into your bed at night and just started talking very quietly in your ears and started eating chips and... Nah, fam. If it just feels like someone's like right there, and then when someone actually does happen to be there, then it freaks you out, and especially if you're listening so intently and closing your eyes and trying to really feel the sound. No. It's too much. With our left and our right reverb technology, you can tell when somebody's on your left or your right. The stereo is just... It's crazy technology. It's all magic. Yeah, these kids these days and their newfangled devices. No, I'm not that old. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Gonna maybe try going back to 2 episodes a week, or maybe just one and alternate between Blue Fire and Balan. That's probably the most likely stuff. It's just for funsies. And daily content is really out of the question because it's... I mean, we're not partners at YouTube, so that's not... You can't just quit everything else and do daily uploads. I mean, you could, but that's only if you really, really like doing it. This is literally just an excuse to get together and hang out. And play some really weird games that she buys at GameStop. I don't... I would have never thought to, like, ever buy Blue Fire or Balan. But... And yet here we are. I mean, you could see there's other AAA titles, but we're not going to play that on the channel because, I mean, everybody else can do that, and you can see hundreds of thousands of videos on Pokemon or Fire Emblem or Splatoon, but honestly, how many people have you heard of that play, weird indie stuff like Balan or Demo, like she likes to play, or, it's just, or even like the One Piece games too. Like, I had a blast playing One Piece. And Fire Emblem's just a personal favorite of mine. So, and I like to give voices for characters, and there was a lot of characters in Fire Emblem. But now all the characters actually have voice actors for the modern Fire Emblems, so don't really have that opportunity anymore. Unless, we just muted the characters, you could always just give them different voices like that, too. But also, I feel like FE7 and FE8, they actually have more opportunities for different voice actors because there's so many different countries coming in and out, and there's a lot of intrigue, and the other games are just, you're with this group of people, stay with them, that sort of thing. And there's not a lot of focus on different characters, it's all on focusing on the main character. Unless you're doing, paralogs and stuff, then you get a little bit of extra background for some of the characters. Which I think Three Houses did phenomenally. Welcome to the Fire Emblem podcast, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I'm your solo host, Austin. And I will take you through a journey of all the Fire Emblem games that I have played thus far. I started out with Radiant Dawn, which is still honestly my favorite to this day because it was so unique, and you did jump from one group to the next. I mean, there's later on in the late game they could have, in my opinion, maybe handled that a little bit better. But without giving spoilers or anything, you start with one group of people for like 15 chapters. Or 12 or 13, and then you jump back to a couple of the games, people from Path of Radiance, and then then you do 5 or 6 chapters there, and then you jump back to Ike's group, and then after a while there you get back to the main group, and then people split off, and then in the final part, everybody slowly comes back together, but some characters leave for a much longer time, so if you like them and you want to play them more, then you gotta, bring them back, and it's just... And there's no point in, using them or training them because you never got the chance to use them in the first place. But if we do the No Man Left Behind challenge for Radiant Dawn, that's going to be very interesting because leveling and just have to save all the BXP for people that need it. I kind of like the BXP thing too, in case you have someone that you really want to level and join. And then they did a weird thing, like every time you leveled up with bonus experience, it was only 3 stats. but you were guaranteed to get 3 stats, which made it so much easier to actually max out people, and it was their most likely stats to max out. So if you're leveling them up in the BXP, then they're going to be just more proficient in the class that they're in, and they're more useful that way if you have a diverse team and all that. So I kind of just love that. I mean, that was great. But sounds like this podcast session is nearly over. I could keep talking forever about Radiant Dawn, because it's just like, it's, I think in my noob opinion, is the pinnacle of like Fire Emblem without the extra range increases of weapons and modification of weapons. There's a little bit of that too, which I think they handled quite well. I think in order to modify a weapon was extremely expensive, and like in Awakening, you could name the weapons that you were making, which I really wish they had brought back, but for whatever reason they discontinued that with the new games. It kind of makes me sad, but I liked getting to name weapons. It was just, you could just go ridiculous with it. Oh, those are good times. Favorite character of that game, probably Edward. He's like the very first character you get to play as, like along with Micaiah, but for some reason I just like the heck out of Edward, and so I like completely maxed him my first playthrough. It was pretty fun. I called him Edward the Bamf, because he had wrath, and so anytime he gets lower on health, his crit increases. And so like late game, he's got so much crit, like he's got a 60% chance on everything that he does. And I think in the 4th part, he had a weapon that didn't have durability on it, and it was just permanently like critting, and he could never get hit. Like his average like to get hit was like so incredibly low. He had like at one point, and most of the time, he had like probably a 20% or lower chance of getting hit by even like late game enemies. So love that game. And looks like she finally returns.
Oh, you guys should about Fire Emblem?
Oh yeah, I turned it into a podcast.
Oh, cool.
So I hope you don't mind. But,
no, I don't mind.
You'll probably cut this out. Maybe even make an extra episode out of it just for fun.
I could, because from 8 minutes to 24 minutes. That took me way longer than I thought.
Yeah,
not my fault.
You guys got to get the food for you, and depending on how.
Thanks
much
for your help putting it away. Jeez,
That's
fine. So what do you think? Can we continue on?
Yeah, I suppose. Let's finish this out.
Sorry about the wait, guys.
We've got about 3 or 4 minutes or so left. Let's finish strong.